Hello, how are you doing? We're going to be having a look at Facebook Marketplace. I'll tell you first and foremost about this section of the internet. It's a bit of a cesspool when it comes to computer parts. There are lots of people here who don't know what the hell they're doing or know the actual worth of their, whatever they're selling basically. But I'll tell you that if you do know the value of whatever you're looking for, like a CPU, motherboard, graphics card, just anything, then you'll know a good deal when you see one. And you gotta be quick because those good deals sometimes go within a day, even the hour. So yeah, what it means though is that it's really late at night today, and yeah, all the good deals are gone. So we're just gonna have a look at mostly bad ones. So here's a bit of a PSA for any of you, I don't know, budding computer resellers, I guess. If you want to get into selling and flipping computers, please put in a parts description, especially if you're asking for £300. Now, additionally, you can put it in the photos, but even these are just way too vague. I can see that this Cooler Master power supply, maybe it's worth something. Maybe this graphics card looks like a GTX 1060, but I don't know, there could be a Pentium or a Celeron in that thing. And I understand that not everybody is as, tech savvy as you and I. That's understandable. But again, you're dealing with strangers here. And if you want some other stranger to part their £300, which is quite a lot of money, then you better justify why you're asking for £300 basically. And you can ask the seller yourself, send them a message if what the parts are basically, but then it's just a waste of time. Just put a parts description, I don't know, open up Task Manager, open up System Info, screenshot that, take that photo on your phone and just, post it. Luckily, there aren't as many listings like this, but when I do see one, it pisses me off. So we have a gaming PC that is not free, even though it says here that it is. We have an FX 8320, okay. 8GB of RAM, got an SSD hard drive, and a GTX 1050 Ti, and an XFX 600W power supply, which is way overkill. Even with an FX system, it's overkill. But what really annoys me the most is when there is no writing here of an asking price. The seller just says, open to offers, not free. And so let me explain to you bluntly why this bothers me so much. It's almost as if the seller is trying to rip someone off by omitting an initial asking price. Basically, any indication as to what this PC is actually worth. Some random person who doesn't know much about computer parts, who isn't as tech savvy as you and I, could find this system and ask for a price that is much higher than what it's actually worth. Now, admittedly, I don't know the value of FX systems, and the GTX 1050 Ti, pretty much that guarantees 900p, so you can, run many games or nearly all games max settings on a school monitor. But for 1080p, it's pretty gimped as well. So yeah, just judging from the fact that you can't guarantee 1080p on this and something that's called a gaming PC, I'm gonna say this thing is worth £250. And finally, if you omit any descriptions or any asking prices, I will omit my time in even looking at any of your listings. So let's switch to a decent deal, in my opinion anyways. So we have a gaming PC that has an i7-4790K, 4 cores, 8 threads. It should still pull well, quite well in 2020. We have a GTX 980, which is, pretty beefy. It says the cool looking one. Well, of course it is. 16 gigs of RAM, 120 gig SSD, a big hard drive, Windows 10, and for £350, especially when you can see this nice looking EVGA 850W G2, yeah, this is actually a pretty good deal. So let's move on to CPUs, and I'm gonna make this short and sweet. This i3-2120 you can literally buy for £5 on eBay, 8 times as less as what this seller is asking for. Here's an i5-3470, you can buy these for £20 on eBay, half as much as what this seller is asking for. And I'm guessing if they upgraded to an i7, I just hope that they didn't pay like £150 for a 3770K or something like that. Jesus. This is an i7-7700K, and for £250, it's a terrible buy. No, I'm not faulting the seller because on eBay, the prices are pretty much the same. I mean, the thing is though, this chip can still pull really well on games and on some, medium productivity workloads. It's just that, for one, it's on a GIMP platform, and it's just not a very good value in light of Ryzen. I know you're sick of me hearing this, but basically, for £250, you can get yourself a Ryzen 5 2600, maybe 3600, get yourself a cheap B450 motherboard, and even DDR4 RAM if you can squeeze it, for the same price again. So yeah, this isn't because of the seller, it's because the market itself is overpricing these i7s. And speaking of the market overpricing things, the GTX 1050 Ti. So basically, the reason why I like gawk at these graphics cards, like this particular one, is because there's so many of them listed in my local area, and unlike everywhere else I guess here in the UK, and they're just around £100, and they're mostly listed over a week ago. So what I mean is that performance wise, for £100, you can get better deals, like an RX 570 or a GTX 970, or even a GTX 1063GB, or I guess even to an extent a GTX 1650. Basically, those four cards, they are, around the same price as a 1050 Ti, maybe even slightly more, but all four of them each can mutilate this 1050 Ti. And for somebody here that says no offers please, £100 firm, regardless of the condition, this listing here is going to sit for a very long time. And in my personal opinion, these 1050 Ti's genuinely are just worth like £60 to £75, something like that. Oh, and would you look at that, an RX 470 for £75. So even though it's a 470 and not a 570, basically the RX 570 is a rehash of the RX 470, so technically they're the same. And yeah, look at this. This is guaranteed 1080p gaming for £25 less than that previous listing. Oh, and would you look at that, an RX 570 for £70. This is almost very close to how much I paid for my RX 570 for. Wow, I love my 570. It's just sitting in my this system right now. It's my baby. This will be the last listing. So as we can see here, we got a really nice shot of the inside. This looks very clean. Got these lovely cables, RGB fans all around, and yeah, more RGB fans at the front, and you got this really nice depth field going around. And on the outside, we have a very glassy case with more RGB fans, and we have a cheeky peek here at a Corsair power supply. At least, that part hasn't been cheaped out on. So let's have a look at the parts. Boring stuff. Oh, okay. So you have an i5 4670K, so 4 cores, 4 threads. GTX 1650, which, okay, allows 1080p gaming, but not the best value card out there. 16 gigs of RAM, SSD and hard drive, but for £600. Just from looking at these specs alone, I'll tell you how much I'd pay for a system with these specs. £350. This person here is asking for £600. So I guess let's have a look at them justify the asking price, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna dock them for not being English, that is not the point. But I guess what they're saying is that somebody commented on another listing that they have, and they basically said, some leftover lights from last year's Christmas tree were crammed into a black box to keep that spirit alive. Oh Jesus, I need some of that. But their reply was, oops, I'm sorry, it's called RGB, and it's the biggest must-have currently. It boosts your gaming performance by 480%, citation needed, even if you play Fortnite with a touchpad. All the boring stuff doesn't matter anymore if RGB is in the house. So yeah, they're literally banking on RGB to make a sale. And yeah, I don't blame them because they gotta, I don't know, justify an extra £250 from somewhere, in my opinion. Just to put it into perspective, for £600, you could get yourself a Ryzen 5 2600 or 3600, and you can get yourself a, I don't know, GTX 1070 or an RTX 2060, and that system will destroy this other system. It will tear off its limbs and rip the flesh clean off its bones. And I'm sorry if you're eating, but that's how business and technology works. They're ruthless, they're fast moving, and they take no prisoners. Maybe I'd pay at most £400 for the whole system, just because the build looks really clean. But then, judging by, I guess, the standoffish nature of this person, I guess, I don't think they'd even accept that. So yeah, this listing is gonna sit on for weeks on end. Probably, I'm gonna predict right up until new, I don't know, new CPUs come out, basically, new graphics cards come out. So yeah, that's Facebook Marketplace. I hope you've, I don't know, have been enlightened in some way or another. But regardless, this is the Budding Engineer. Hope to see you soon.